Okay, now this story was some crazy ass stuff. You might recall I've given a few PSA messages on the show in the past about please do not bring your Adderall on the plane because it is methamphetamine. It's actually legal meth. That's what Adderall and Ritalin is. And if you bring it, somebody was caught importing it into Japan, and they got basically arrested and deported for importing meth. They were basically treated like the Breaking Bad Walter White character. All of these hilarious misunderstandings. Another one's happened where a lady got onto an airplane in America, I believe in Atlanta, was it? And it turned out that she noticed when she was on the airplane, oh geez, golly me, I found I've got a loaded gun in my bag. I totally just forgot to take it out before I went through customs, and somehow they got through customs, through the TSA checks in the US. A Delta Airlines flight from Atlanta, so there you go. So she got up in the middle of the flight and told the crew, hey, excuse me, golly gee, I've got a loaded gun. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring it on the plane. Now, I realize in America it could be seen as kind of an innocent mistake. She basically flew all the way to Japan, got to Japan, where it had already been disclosed on the plane that she was carrying a loaded gun. Japanese customs said, yeah, well, she said, this is just a terrible, silly mistake by me, silly me. They said, yeah, pretty silly. Please go back to America, take the gun with you. Where they didn't let her come through customs in Japan, she had to fly back to America. And most people seem to think, indeed, that she was kind of silly, and this clearly wasn't intentional. She wasn't a terrorist. She wasn't bringing the gun on the plane on purpose. She just inadvertently brought a loaded gun on a plane. If you ask me, personally, my personal opinion, when you look at the prohibited articles that you can't bring onto planes, explosives, drugs, firearms, and you think of all of those things in which, as a passenger, I care about the most, which is the more serious breach? A kilogram of cocaine or a loaded gun? I care less about the kilogram of cocaine. I mean, at the end of the day, every country wants to sort of stop drugs, but do you think if she was accidentally carrying a kilogram of cocaine that they would have just laughed it off as a joke and sent her back to America? Now, granted, Americans, of course, have some really weird ideas about guns, but she carried a loaded gun on a plane. I mean, obviously, number one, I know that the TSA aren't getting paid anymore, but seriously, they make us take our shoes off and dance the hokey pokey. I did this in America. And, I don't know, we're supposed to feel safer because we've taken our shoes off and we've danced around in a circle and we've got these huge lines waiting for that. And of all of that, it's great. They took off the shoes, they made her dance around. Did anyone actually ask her about the loaded gun that she was carrying? I mean, how did that even get through? Maybe it's because they're not getting paid because of the government shutdown. And then she gets on the plane and then, it's sort of like, is this normal? Like, how is this normal? This is less normal than, I mean, seriously, if she had shown up in Japan with a kilogram of cocaine, even if she admitted to it, she would have been thrown in jail. And I think this person, even if it was a silly, innocent mistake, she should have been thrown into jail at least. So PSA message, please, in addition to your Ritalin and Adderall, make sure you have a prescription for that stuff, a really well-written prescription for it. And loaded guns, please don't bring them on the planes, because anywhere, seriously, like, how anyone could think that was okay. And it's amazing that they just let her get back on the plane back. I'm assuming that she was white. Maybe that's why they let her on the plane in the first place. It's crazy. That's some crazy stuff. American people, please don't do that. The good news is she was denied entry to Japan. Hopefully she never tries to come back again. I mean, seriously, what is wrong with some people?